Okay, I've tried to make this video literally 10 times, so I'm just gonna do it and I'm gonna upload it. As you can tell from the title, this is gonna be a trying to conceive after Depo Provera. And before I get into my symptoms and how long I've been on it and all that stuff, I'm gonna give you a little more background on me and my birth control story and kind of why I'm wanting to make these videos. So a lot like every other woman that got on the Depo shot, I started reading all the horror stories. And when I went to search for people who were trying to conceive after the shot, I wasn't finding what I was looking for. I would read just a story, but I really wanted to watch someone's journey. I wanted to watch their story. So I went on YouTube, and there wasn't very many videos. And the ones that were on there weren't very consistent and weren't a journey from beginning to end like I was searching for. So I thought, hey, I'll make a video of my journey. So a little bit about me. My name is Haley, and I don't know if I already said that. My mind is so scattered. I've tried to make this so many times. I have 2 children. One is 5, one is 2. They're both boys. I am 29 years old, and I had my first son when I was 23. I got married January 17th of 2012. We knew that we wanted to start right away, and I had never been on birth control before this, so we thought it was going to be fairly easy. I didn't have any kind of hormones in my system. So after the night we got married, we just said, hey, we're going to actively try this. 2 weeks later, January 31st, which was my 23rd birthday, we found out that we were pregnant with our first son. So it happened very quick, very fast. We were so blessed and fortunate. We were so excited. I don't know, we were over the moon. So fast forward to October 2012, my son was born. I decided that I was going to try to breastfeed him. I breastfed him for 2 months, and in this time I wasn't on any kind of birth control. I'm assuming because I was breastfeeding, it was never really talked about. I don't know. It was never really talked about. But 2 months after I stopped breastfeeding him and got the implant in. And I had I'd say it was kind of a 50-50 experience on implant. I didn't have any mood swings. I didn't have any crazy symptoms, but I did bleed. I had a bleeding issue. I bled probably 2 weeks out of a month. So usually like the first week and the last week of a month, and they were period like bleeds. And I also had breakthrough bleeding. Anytime we would have intercourse, anytime I would have a big bowel movement, anytime I would exercise, it would make me start spotting. And I did this for almost 2 years. So I got it in December of 2012. I got it out October of 2014. And we had talked about trying to conceive a second child, but we weren't actively trying this time. I think for me, I was very excited. I wanted it right away. My husband felt like we needed to be in a different place, but he wanted another child. I know that sometimes it's harder for men, not all men, but anyways, for my husband, I'm just gonna say for my husband, to say yes, let's have another baby. So we didn't actively try, but we didn't prevent it either. In a way, we prevented because we were doing the pull-out method. And I was very excited. I was like, I'm going to get pregnant so fast and it's going to be great, blah, blah, blah. I never got pregnant. Months and months and months. I started getting really down and disappointed. And even though we weren't trying, I was hoping. Every month at the end of my period, I would take a test, and it always came up negative. And so finally, after the 8th month of not accidentally getting pregnant, I just kind of gave up. I just said, you know what, this obviously isn't the time. It's not going to happen now. And I just kind of gave up and handed it to God and said, hey, here you go. I'm obsessing about this, so I'm giving it to you. And I just kind of forgot about it. And about a month later, the end of the next month would have been May of 2015. One day we were at the pool, and I started getting this really, really bad pain in where my kidney is on my right side, in my back. And I didn't know what it was. I just kind of tried to handle it. I had a 2-year-old, and I was trying to juggle him and take care of him, but I was in so much pain. Like, I was literally laying on the floor crying. It hurt so bad. I mean, I've never experienced that kind of pain before, except in labor pains. So I called my mother-in-law, she's a nurse, and said, hey, something is going on. I'm in so much pain. It hurts so bad. I cannot stand up. I need someone to watch Sebastian. Will you please take me to the emergency room or take me to the walk-in clinic? Because this was around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So she took me to the walk-in clinic. And by the time she got me up and we started moving around, like, I was sick. I was throwing up, and we both thought it was because I was in so much pain that I was throwing up. So we get to the doctor's office. They take a urine sample. They say, yes, you have an infection. They gave me Bactrim. And in the back of my mind, I kind of thought, hey, I'm a couple days late on my period. And I told the doctor that, but he didn't test me. He just said, no, here's your medicine, kind of be on your way. So this was a Friday afternoon. I was sick all the night Friday, Saturday, into the morning Sunday, constantly throwing up. I couldn't eat anything. Nausea, the pain was still there. They gave me Phenergan, but I couldn't keep it down, so I had to do the suppository kind, and it wouldn't work. I was still throwing up. So Sunday morning, I finally called my mother-in-law crying. I was like, I cannot do this. I'm hurting. I've lost 10 pounds from throwing up so much and being dehydrated, and I need to go to the emergency room. And she came over, and again, I just kind of mentioned, what if I'm pregnant? I was like, I've never experienced this symptoms before. I was like, but what if I'm pregnant? I'm like 4 days late. And the only symptom that I had that in my mind was normal was my nipples were really sore. But I thought that it was because they were irritated. I go braless often, and your shirts rub, and sometimes they can get irritated and chafed. And I kind of thought that might have been what was going on. But she was like, you know what, we'll just go get you a test anyways. Because if you are pregnant, that medication that you've been on can be dangerous. I was pregnant. We were both kind of shocked because neither one of us suspected pregnancy. I was so excited. We found out on Father's Day. It was Father's Day that we found out. So it was June, sometime in the beginning of June, maybe. Sorry, excuse me. And I remember I stayed home from church that day, and my husband was there for Father's Day, and I sent him a text telling him that I was pregnant. So fast forward to 2016 of February, I had my second son, and I ended up getting on the Nexplanon after Kipton was born. It gave me the exact same symptoms that the Implanon did. The bleeding, the breakthrough bleeding. I was kind of expecting it because of the Implanon. But I kept it in for almost 2 years. So I got it in February of 2016. I took it out. No, I went to the doctor finally. When was it? October, the beginning of October of 2017, to try to make sure the bleeding wasn't coming from somewhere else, or there was something that was torn, or just to see what was going on. Because from every other doctor or nurse, even my mother-in-law, all the doctors told me, you will stop your periods, you will stop your periods. And I never did, even on the Implanon. So I assumed that I'm kind of hormone sensitive. My assumption is I'm hormone sensitive, or that my uterus thins out so much that it makes me bleed very, very easily. Awesome, baby. Don't break those, okay?
Want a donut?
Okay, not yet. Don't break them, okay? Because you'll scratch them up and they won't work anymore.
Donut?
Anyways, so he was like, okay, let's try a birth control pill on top of the Nexplanon. And it did stop my bleeding for that month, but it turned me into a crazy person. I was literally a crazy person. My husband was like, you are psychotic. I was mean to everybody. I was frustrated with my kids.
Mama,
What, buddy?
Mermaid Bog Boy.
You're Mermaid Man.
See, this is Mermaid Man.
He's Mermaid Man?
Yes, we are Mermaid Bog Boy.
Awesome, buddy. Go fight some crime.
I got donuts.
Awesome, buddy.
Donuts on him.
Anyways, so yeah, I was mean to everybody. Like, I was like, I need to get off of this. So I went back and I was like, just take it out, and I'll try something different.
Come on, back in the cigarette. Right, Mermaid.
He's acting out a scene from SpongeBob. Anyways, so I was like, just take it out. I don't want this anymore. I knew that birth control pills weren't an option for me because I know me, and I know that I would forget to take them, even if someone reminded me, even if I had an alarm set, I know that I would forget to take them. And I know I did not want an IUD because, I mean, there's horror stories with that too. And a lot of people that I know have had to have them surgically removed, or they've caused punctures in their uterus and just stuff. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So kind of my only long-term option that was right for us at the time was the Depo Provera. And I will be honest, I did research. I mean, I did read the horror stories before I got it. But in the back of my mind, I kind of thought, it's not going to happen to me, or I don't know what I was thinking. So I got the shot at the very end of October 2017. The first month, the first week that I had it, I did have a little bit of mood swing, a little bit more irritable, but that went away. The mood swings went away. In the first month, I did not have a period. But around the second week of December, I started spotting, and it never went away. Never went away. I got my second shot. I also noticed that the very end of the 3-month cycle that my hair started shedding. And I don't know if it's because the hormones were withdrawing out of my system, and it's kind of like a postpartum hair loss. You're losing those hormones, and birth control can mimic pregnancy and make your body think that you're pregnant. So when those hormones are withdrawing, my hair started falling out. And I don't know if that's factual, but I'm assuming that's what's going on. So I got my second shot, and like the first shot, I got my second shot at the beginning of February. I think I was a week late or something because I'd forgot about it, and it was a weekend. I had the moodiness. I I was still spotting. My period never went away. I still had the breakthrough bleeding this very second. I am still bleeding. It's very light. I have to wear a light tampon, but it's still there. It never went away. Which my mother-in-law was kind of surprised, because every single person that she's known or has had it that she's worked with said that their periods went away. And like I've said before, I'm assuming that I'm just hormone sensitive, because they just don't work for me. I bleed the whole time. I think my body's trying to reject it. It does not like it. It doesn't want it. And again, about mid-March, my hair started shedding, and it's still shedding. As you can tell, I mean, it's not super thin. I have a lot of hair anyways, but right here is getting really thin. And mostly on this side, it's worse on this side. I'm getting some bald spots. So that was a downer, plus the bleeding. And after reading all the horror stories and knowing that we were wanting to have another baby sometime in the future, I've just decided to not get my next shot. The shot will wear off at the end of April, so I have about 4 weeks left. And I am going to document what my withdrawals are like. I also want to document if I'm ovulating, even though I'm not having a consistent period or a regular cycle, because I have read some women who have ovulated even though they are not having a regular cycle and their period has not come back. So I am going to track my ovulation, from the moment that I get off. I do know that it can take a while to get out of your system, but everybody's body is so different that you just never really know how long it takes a person as an individual to get back to normal. So I'm going to be doing OPK sticks. I am going to be tracking my basal body temperature, and also tracking when my cycles become normal. I am not going to be doing any kind of detox. I'm not going to take any Videx or anything like that. I am currently taking prenatals just to get my body ready for a pregnancy eventually, and I'm hoping that it will help replace some of the stuff that I'm losing. And I'm probably becoming a little bit anemic because I am bleeding constantly. It's not a lot, but I'm still bleeding every day, which, you know, isn't the nicest thing to think about and what it's doing to your body. But with all that said, I'm hoping that this can help someone else. I'm hoping that it would help me keep track of what's going on, and just, I know, I don't personally know what it's like to struggle trying to actively conceive. And I can tell you right now at this moment that my husband we are not actively going to be trying to conceive. We are going to probably wait and just see what happens. It will probably be an accident. If something changes, of course, I will let you guys know. But at this point, I'm just trying to track how long it's going to take it to get out of my system, and before I ovulate, and before my cycles get back to normal. That is my goal at this point. We are wanting another baby. I'm hoping within the next year I will get pregnant. We're hoping for a little girl, but if we get another boy, you know, that is fine. But yeah, I hope you guys come along with me on this journey. A lot of baby dust to everybody who is out there just thinking about trying to conceive, whether you're on birth control or not. It's very, very exciting, and babies are such a blessing. And I'll see you guys next time. I will probably make a video the end of April when I come off of my shot, and tell you guys if there's any symptoms, and then another at the end of April to show you what my first month was like coming off the shot, and then do it at the end of every month from there. Yeah, but I will see you guys next time. Bye.